Welcome to Rick and Don's video on S50 Enviro's freestanding unit. We're going to cover glass removal and replacement today. We're going to start by lifting up the top, sliding the kickstands that hold it out. This is the older version of the top. The new unit comes with a top that slides down and twists into place. Next, we're going to remove the face. It comes off pretty easy by pulling up. We're going to set it someplace safe on a protected piece of cardboard so we don't get the bottom of it scratched. As you can see, the glass is all held in with a series of bolts on the side and along the front. First thing we're going to do is we're going to take these 6 bolts that hold, 3 that hold the bottom piece out, 3 that hold the top piece on. We're going to take those all the way off. Notice that I'm purposely doing this by hand, and I'm not using an electric screwdriver or impact gun. So we'll be very careful with this glass. They don't want us using electric tools on it. Do everything by hand. When we go to put it back together, we'll be discussing how tight we tighten these. It's not what you think. We're not going to tighten them real tight. Most of what you're going to do removing these bolts is just going to be done with the fingers. This off, I'm going to tip this up so you can see the gasket material that cushions the metal to the glass. We don't want any metal ever touching the glass. That wouldn't allow well for expansion and contraction. See how we have gasket in there? That's what contacts the glass. Pause. The larger bolts I removed from the front were all 7/16. All of the bolts here on the side are 5/16. Note that on the side bracket, all we're doing is loosening the bolts, getting the pressure off the gasket. Between the gasket and the glass, we want some slack. Now I'm going to hold my hand in the front of this glass so that it doesn't fall out on the ground as I'm loosening the bolts. Top bracket is off, bottom bracket is off. Both side brackets are loosened, but all the bolts are still inside. Pull the glass straight out toward you, cup it in your hands. Set it carefully on something soft like a piece of cardboard or a shipping blanket. You wouldn't want to set that glass directly on the concrete. Anything sharp could cause that glass to break. Pulling the glass. I'm going to set the glass on the ledge. I'm going to line it up. It slides easily back into place. And before I tension the side brackets, I'm actually going to put the brackets that hold the bottom and the top in and have them just a little bit snug, so that I know my glass is held exactly in the position it should be in. And it's pretty easy to get it right back where it was. I'm going to do exactly the same thing with the lower bracket. I'm going to put it in place and put a little tension on it as well. Okay, now we are at what I think is the most important part, tensioning the glass. We're going to put a little bit of tension on these, and I'm not tightening them tight at all. I can clearly see the gasket is contacting the glass, and I'm putting a light amount of tension on the bolts. It doesn't need to be a lot. We want this glass to be able to move around on the gasket. Heat makes everything expand, and we want this glass to be able to expand and contract with the heat. So it just moves within the gasket. Now I'm going to do exactly the same thing on the sides. I'm going to start in the middle on the sides. I'm going to tension that one first. Then I'm going to work my way to the outer edges, just like you would a torque sequence, torquing something down on a car. And again, just a little bit of pressure. It doesn't have to be tight. And we'll repeat exactly the same. Again, electric tools are not recommended for this operation. Now we're going to put the outer cover back on. And we'll drop the top down on the spike.
And this has just got hooks, a top and a bottom hook on the left and a top and a bottom hook on the right, correct? It goes in and inside there. You can't really see it very good, but it's good. It's just hooks.